the way you have positioned your branding and marketing and even your pricing moving ahead, you would be in a position where the bigger GPT-3 companies can't really compete with you, because if they make the lower pricing too low, then they are outpricing themselves or their competitors, and it just looks like a different product. So now you are in this competitive space position, because they can't
Yeah.
really come at you. It's kind of interesting.
Right. Famous last words. They'll never take us down. No, I think, look, this space is super hot. I mean, it's like arrogant of me to say that, we're going to win. I believe in my team. I got an amazing, amazing co-founder. You've met Henry. You've talked to Henry. This dude's a machine, man. He's superhuman. And then I got really great, the new UX guy we brought on, Mark. He's just everybody on our team. I think we can build some cool stuff together. The competition's red hot. We'll see. We'll see when the dust settles. I think it's going to be the case where all of the lower tier GPT-3 startups will just die, and then there will be some startups that really understand their users and can make features in a very delightful way to deliver the most value, and they'll survive. They'll iterate and they'll find their own AI teams, and it'll be a question of like who can deliver the best content. But yeah, as of right now, it's like a brawl. It's a free for all. You wake up, open Twitter, 5 of your friends have suddenly started like writing AI writing startups, right? And you're like, holy crap, like this is a lot for 7 a.m. It's like, 5 of your friends have suddenly become competitors. They're not even competitors. Like, I'm glad when a new GPT-3 startup comes out, because at least we're all kind of solving the same problem, which is like, can we make writing easier for everybody? I think some of them are going about it the wrong way, where they try to just the human element out. But even then, we're kind of getting close to the truth of how AIs and humans should write together by ruling out some of these startups where.
Another question, just like kind of random.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on content pollution? And you probably already know what this means.
I mean, I assume when you mean content pollution, just like a bunch of all this garbage content coming out, AI generated. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, it's a nuanced take, right? Because there's a lot of times when AI generated content is good. Like, actually 100% AI generated content is good. For example, like, let's say you're watching a sports game, or let's say you're not watching a sports game. An AI can take all the points and all what's happening live on the field and generate these summaries for you real time. That's 100% AI generated on. And you could see it real time. Let's say you're playing fantasy football. You can see that. And maybe there's like cool quips that the AI can put in. And it could be way better than having, the intern write it real time. He's sweating. And like, if he makes a mistake, then, fantasy owners are going to be angry all around the world. But like, that's the good side. But when everybody gets access to it, everybody's going to want to try maxing out the limits of, like, I don't even have to hire a social media manager anymore. I can generate all of my captions, and then I don't have to hire anybody for my Shopify. So I can generate all the product descriptions. I could generate all of my SEO articles. And then once I'm on Tinder, I'll generate all of my pickup lines. And then when I die, I'll have AI generate my obituary. I'll plug in, I'll use some scraper to get my LinkedIn life events. And then it'll tell a beautiful story about my life. And it'll be like put on the papers. Right. That I can only tell you how, like, we can all make conjecture like 5 years from now, what's going to look like. I think probably high quality content will be even more valuable.
Yes,
because there'll be so much content everywhere that it might even be cool to have a badge when people say, I don't use, like, unless AI written content, unless like AI's improved drastically within the next 5 years, there'll be some valley where there'll be benefits of people saying, I actually don't use like this and this tool, AI writing tool. When I write, I use a little bit of AI assistance. And I actually write it myself, and that's the future that we want to build. We want to empower, these really talented writers so that they can write more, not so that they don't write at all. Like, I want to get a great content creator that writes really thought-provoking articles, and I want them to put out 2 newsletters a week instead of 1 newsletter, because they have these great ideas and they can get to their first draft way faster with Jenni, and then they can iterate through their thought process faster with Jenni, instead of like, I don't know. I can just tell you one thing that actually keeps me up at night is like, nobody does any writing anymore. And it's just a competition of like these large models, and everyone's just generating shit. And maybe the best writing models are now getting like the most traffic. Like, imagine it happens in all fields. Like, no one makes art anymore. Like, everyone just like generates art, and no one writes anymore. It's like, that's probably great for the big companies that can or the startups and the companies that can use these tools and they're selling these services. But like,
no, absolutely. That makes sense.